Hello, good morning. We're going to go ahead and get today's webinar started. My name is Mike Kelly, and I'm with the Division of Environmental and Financial Assistance here at Ohio EPA, and I'll be running the electronic portion of the webinar this morning. This webinar is part of Ohio EPA's In Your Community webinar series focused on environmental issues at the local level. These webinars will occur throughout the year and cover a wide range of topics from how Ohio EPA regulates pollution sources to ways on improving the environment in your local area. Additional information about these webinars is on our In Your Community webpage. I'd like to go over a few logistical details before I turn it over to our presenter today. We will be handling questions through the Teams Q&A feature on the right side of your screen. Please type in your question and we'll go over those at the end of our presentation. If you did not use your email address to log into this webinar, please type that into the Q&A section if you have a question. That way, if we need to follow up with you, we can get in touch with you. If you view this webinar on full screen, the Q&A section may go away. If you hit the escape key or restore your screen view settings, that should restore that. And as I mentioned, we are going to be recording this webinar and we'll be posting the recording along with the PowerPoint presentation. It usually takes us about a week or two to get that done. And just to get the webinar edited and posted up on the website. So with that, I'd like to introduce our presenter today, who is Bill Naratsky. He's in our Division of Environmental and Financial Assistance and the Sustainability Unit of the Office of Compliance Assistance and Pollution Prevention. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Bill.
Thank you, Mike. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Today, we're going to review concepts pertaining to sustainable communities and resources that are available to help communities with their sustainability goals. The Sustainability Unit includes pollution prevention assessment staff, certified advisors for the True Zero Waste Certification Program, coordinators of the Encouraging Environmental Excellence Program, and administrators for the Ohio Materials Marketplace. There are books and other literature available that address today's topic in depth. In this presentation, we will focus on some key sustainability concepts, general resources and tools that are available, and services provided by our office that are helpful to sustainable communities. Active web links are included throughout the presentation. We encourage you to follow the links for more information. I want to start or restart with 3 key concepts for community sustainability. First off, sustainable development is development that meets the needs of present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Sustainable systems balance 3 components: environmental, economic, and social. These are commonly referred to as the 3 pillars or legs of sustainability. Resilience is a focus for many communities. The capability to manage and withstand disturbances and recover from them is being tested severely currently. It is worth noting that sustainability is considered to be one of the 6 foundations of community resilience, and incorporating sustainability into your practices and policies is beneficial. The third key concept of sustainability we want to address is pollution prevention. In Ohio, pollution prevention is source reduction and environmentally responsible recycling. Improving processes, increasing efficiency, using less harmful chemicals, and reducing the actual generation of wastes saves organizations money and can help them be more sustainable and resilient. Pollution prevention is part of the foundation of sustainability. When you're just beginning a sustainability program, put together a team, which will be discussed in the next slide, and lead by example. It is often easier to come up with plans for others, but this is a great opportunity to demonstrate your leadership. Implement improvements within your local government operations and the communities program. Take action and lead the way. Measurement is fundamental. It is important to establish a baseline for current behavior and activities and measure progress as new policies and practices are initiated or equipment is installed. Measuring project results helps explain the effectiveness of practices and can demonstrate the value of the sustainability program, both within the local government operations and in projects for community members. By looking at benchmarking information, you can see what is possible by similar communities and gain an understanding on how well you are doing. As you get started, a small project with a measurable impact helps create momentum and demonstrates potential. Upgrading lighting to LEDs is a simple project and can have immediate economic benefits and reduce your operational budget and environmental footprint. A one-time zero waste event can demonstrate the environmental benefits from the amount of materials recycled and composted, and is easier to control due to its limited scope. These types of projects can allow a community to investigate sustainable practices without a huge investment. It is important to celebrate the success of these projects with stakeholders, including your employees, community, and event sponsors. Use the small successes to start building a more in-depth program. Ohio EPA's fact sheet shown here has some great information and explores these ideas in more depth. Also, please feel free to contact our office for assistance as you begin any sustainability journey. Most successful sustainability programs develop a team of stakeholders to develop and implement the program goals. Cross-functional teams made from diverse roles within your community and with wider perspectives can help make better decisions if they are rational and have access to accurate information. This is true for both industry and for the communities. Community teams benefit from input from their citizens, local businesses and industry, institutions and organizations, and different government departments. An industry or healthcare facility may be the largest employer in your community and may also have expertise in sustainability and environmental stewardship. They can help you develop your own community program. And your community can encourage local businesses to consider and implement more sustainable options. Information and skills flow both directions to help create a more robust program. While cross-functional teams will add complexity to a community's efforts, they will also help develop a deeper, more resilient program. Energy efficiency projects are often great initial projects because they can have a considerable cost savings in addition to environmental benefits. Residential and commercial buildings are responsible for approximately 40% of the United States energy consumption and greenhouse gas emissions. So there is an immediate beneficial impact. Activities as simple as turning off lights have an impact. If your buildings are closed or offices are not being used, turn off the lights. This is free to do and will save energy and money. Last year, 8% of the total commercial and residential energy use was used for lighting. Upgrading to LEDs, which are durable, long-lasting, and very energy efficient, is a great idea. LEDs are available for simple drop-in replacement in the office. If you are still using incandescent or old fluorescent lamps, the payback of switching is significant and immediate. LED traffic lights, street lights, and parking lot lights are available, and some incorporate solar charging into them. You can ask your energy supplier if they provide rebates, which could significantly reduce the cost of LED relamping projects. Energy Star appliances and equipment are recognized as being top in their class for energy efficiency. Look for the Energy Star equipment when you're replacing old items. Building systems, primarily heating, ventilation, air conditioning, benefit from commissioning and recommissioning to optimize efficiency and save energy. Commissioning agents should provide cost-benefit analyses prior to contracting. Variable frequency drives are electric motors that incorporate new technologies to greatly reduce their energy use, especially on startup. Certain departments, like your wastewater treatment facilities, and many businesses use motors which can be optimized to be more effective and efficient. Air compressors are used everywhere in business and probably in your community facilities as well. Air compressors are very inefficient. Only about 13% of the energy used produces work. So that's about 1/8. Simple maintenance, leak prevention, and optimization programs can save a lot of money. With recent battery technology improvements, air-powered tools are now being replaced by much more efficient battery-powered tools. The American Council for an Energy Efficient Economy is a nonprofit organization and a great resource on opportunities that improve energy efficiency and reduce costs. Energy Star also has a portfolio manager. It is a free resource and an excellent way to track and benchmark your building space resource use. All you typically need to start are your water and energy bills for an individual building space. About 25% of the US commercial building space energy and water use is currently being benchmarked in the portfolio manager. And it has a robust set of tools to assist with energy efficiency, water conservation, waste management, and more. Alternative energy is a more complex issue, but ties in nicely with energy efficiency. Communities now have the opportunity to work with their energy suppliers for alternative energy purchase agreements. Recently, the cost of alternative energy has rivaled the cost of energy coming from fossil fuels. Communities may reduce their environmental impact choosing an alternative energy source. Sustainable communities can help drive the energy utilities to use more environmentally responsible methods of generating electricity as well. Energy providers are offering solar, wind, and hydropower options that a community can buy through power purchase agreements. Some communities are also building or partnering with utilities to develop solar arrays or wind power in their own communities. SolarSmart is one resource that might be of interest to sustainable communities exploring local solar energy generation. It provides no-cost technical assistance to help communities better access solar energy, and has a recognition program for communities as well. In recognition of their achievements, SolarSmart communities receive designations of gold, silver, and bronze. Microgrids are an emerging community concept that pairs well with alternative energy generation. A microgrid generates electricity and connect or disconnect from a larger electrical distribution system. It can assist a community during peak energy use times or during times of a blackout. Microgrids can provide economic benefits during peak energy use and can improve the overall resiliency of a community. For combined heat and power, nearly 2/3 of the energy used by conventional electricity generation is wasted in the form of heat discharged to the atmosphere. Combined heat and power generates electricity and captures the excess heat as useful thermal energy, such as steam or hot water, that can then be used for space heating, cooling, domestic hot water, and industrial processes. Combined heat and power can achieve efficiencies of up to or over 80%, compared to the 50% for typical technologies. Communities can use it for district energy systems, wastewater treatment facilities, schools K-12, campus-like environments, and to assist local industries. And combined heat and power can be tied into a microgrid as well and help a community be more sustainable and resilient. During our current time, telecommuting or working from home has become a necessity for many. However, telecommuting also addresses all three pillars of sustainability with environmental, economic, and social benefits. From a sustainability viewpoint, telecommuting may be worth standardizing once the current situation has been managed. Many workers now have the training and tools to successfully work from home. Some telecommuting benefits to consider are reduced travel time and vehicle congestion. Working from home can reduce stress and provide more time for individuals to spend with their families. Some studies have shown improved productivity of those working from home as well. Cost savings for the telecommuter include from reduced vehicle fuel use, reduced vehicle wear, and parking expenses. The cost savings for the employer include reduced building lighting, heating and cooling needs. Community and business resiliency are also improved by dispersed workforce and resource demands. Environmental improvements from reduced vehicle emissions as well are being seen in major cities. And as an example of the benefits of telecommuting, in 2015, Xerox reported its teleworkers drove 92 million fewer miles, saved 4.6 million gallons of gas, reduced carbon dioxide emissions by nearly 41,000 metric tons, and it actually saved the company over $10 million. Green buildings incorporate the lessons of sustainability, resilience, and pollution prevention into a building's design, construction, and functions. Green buildings address all three pillars of sustainability. Green building design has been shown to improve occupant social well-being, increase employee retention, and productivity. Environmental aspects include the preference for locally sourced, reused, recycled, or low-hazard building materials to increase building energy and water efficiency. Cost savings from less waste in construction, less energy and water use, and improved employee well-being are also there. Communities may gain all of these benefits, especially when using green buildings for public spaces. Green building standards can be incorporated into building codes to ensure ongoing sustainability in the community. There are many resources available. The U.S. Green Buildings Council LEED Evaluation and Certification Program is the standard for green building design, construction, and maintenance. LEED is the most known authority on green building design and has Ohio chapters, online resources, and also offers a webinar series titled Ohio's Community Connections, which might be worth looking into. Communities have the opportunity to consider sustainability when deciding the materials and products they will use, how much waste they will generate, and the impact of the products and services that they provide. These opportunities can be strengthened through material usage policies and purchasing policies. Bulk purchasing and the stocking of materials is not always preferable when materials have expiration dates. Expired materials become waste, and the initial investment is lost. Just-in-time inventory increases efficiency and decreases waste by receiving goods only as they are needed, reducing inventory costs and reducing waste from expired products. For long-term cost savings, consider material durability when purchasing a product. Recently, we have learned that organizations, specifically healthcare facilities, that use durable personal protection equipment were better prepared and able to respond for a longer duration to the current shortage of protective equipment. Communities choosing durable goods will also be more resilient. A lot of materials are used to aid with material shipping and delivery, but have no immediate use after serving their initial purpose. Look for opportunities to specify the use of returnable dunnage and packaging, and establishing take-back agreements with your suppliers when establishing contracts. These arrangements are growing in popularity and should be a purchasing preference. Use your purchasing leverage to work with your supply chain to encourage or require that they adopt sustainable principles as well. This has become a standard requirement practiced by many large and sustainable manufacturers and could be used by your communities. Purchasing policies are a critical tool to promote sustainability. communities can prioritize environmentally preferable products, sustainable material usage, and give preference to local products with recycled content, and post-consumer content is better, and products that can be recycled after use. Environmentally preferable purchasing considers the environmental and human health impact of the materials purchased and used. Many materials and products have been pre-assessed for their impact using characteristics like toxicity, energy efficiency, and pre- and post-consumer waste generation. Several certification programs are available to assist with environmentally preferable purchasing. These include the Safer Choice and Green Seal certification programs that help consumers, businesses, and purchasers find products that perform and contain ingredients that are safer for human health and the environment. Energy Star products are certified to be more energy efficient. And EPEAT, a certification program administered by the Green Electronics Council, identifies sustainable electronic products for consideration. These programs have already been tested and potentially certified and can be used as a reference when establishing purchasing policies. Vendors also tend to highlight products that receive EPP certification or recognition to further help communities identify products that have certifications requirements. Every community generates solid waste that ends up in the landfill. Fortunately, there are tools available to begin reducing the waste generated. Zero waste certification programs provide tools and offer ideas on how to reduce waste, and then manage what is left so that it does not end up in a landfill. The U.S. Green Building Council's True Zero Waste certification system is one example. Communities can host zero waste events and encourage their businesses to pursue zero waste philosophies. There may be businesses in your communities that are zero waste certified or zero waste to landfill certified that can share their experiences and expertise with you. The best use of a product or material is for its original design purpose, so communities should look for opportunities to repair materials. You could also reach out to your local businesses and organizations to host a repair fair and extend the useful life of products by repairing and reconditioning them. It is important to recognize that your waste can be a feedstock for other processes or serve new uses. The Ohio Materials Marketplace is a material exchange that can help connect those who have unwanted products or materials with those that can use the material. It also lets those seeking materials to post their needs. The Ohio EPA has partnered with the U.S. Business Council for Sustainable Development to provide this free service to help support Ohio's emerging circular economy. Communities are welcome to become members, as are all of your local businesses and organizations. We encourage you to look into our Ohio Material Marketplace. If a material cannot be used as is, then recycling or composting are opportunities that should be considered. The best tool to identify a recycler in your community is your local solid waste management district. Ohio EPA's recycler database can also help identify recyclers interested in your community's materials. Organic waste can find continued use as compost. Ohio EPA maintains a list of Ohio's registered composting facilities, and the list can help you find a composter nearby. The Ohio Material Marketplace is a free materials exchange provided by Ohio EPA and dedicated to helping organizations find material reuse opportunities for materials otherwise destined for the landfill. It also allows those looking for specific materials to advertise their needs. There are currently over 1,000 members representing over 850 Ohio businesses. Nearly 3.7 million pounds of materials have been diverted from the landfill since the marketplace launched in April 2017. Members participating in material exchanges have realized several $100,000 in savings through landfill cost avoidance and by substituting virgin materials in a process or product with those obtained on the marketplace. Please visit the marketplace to learn more and to join. Again, it is a great tool to help communities and their businesses meet sustainability goals. Now we are going to move on to water conservation opportunities. Continuous access to good potable water is a sustainability and resilience concern for any community or business. Water resources or water resource conservation, like energy efficiency, is also an economic issue as the cost of producing and delivering water has increased. Water conservation can be achieved in many ways, including incorporating water conservation technologies into your buildings, spending less for water, or using less water in your landscaping by using non-potable or stored rainwater, using xeriscaping and native species, or using soil moisture sensors rather than timers to determine when to water your landscapes. An industrial crossover lesson to keep in mind is to maximize your dry cleanups prior to washing. This reduces the amount of water used and the chemical used. Employing ultrasonic flow meters at wastewater treatment plants saves water by ensuring more precise flow control. US EPA's Water Sense program is an excellent resource for water conservation options, and we encourage you to look into it. Here's the link. Green infrastructure is a variety of more environmentally beneficial measures that can reduce or slow the flows of stormwater. We've been experiencing a lot of rainfall in the last couple of weeks, which helps emphasize how important stormwater controls is. Green infrastructure projects can cost effectively reduce flood risks, improve water quality, and be incorporated into community green space. And green infrastructure projects improve both sustainability and resiliency. Some examples of green infrastructure include green roofs, bioswales, permeable pavements, rain gardens, bioretention ponds, curb stormwater bump outs, and no-mow zones. US EPA is a good resource for green infrastructure concepts and finding help with ideas for design and implementation. Funding assistance for green infrastructure projects is available from Ohio EPA through the Water Pollution Control Loan Fund. Community green spaces have many environmental, economic, and social benefits and contribute to sustainability. They are demonstrated to increase property values and desirability of neighborhoods. They also can increase local biodiversity, provide wildlife habitats, and support desired pollinators. Wetlands also offer these benefits and can greatly help manage wet water or wet weather events while increasing the resiliency of a community. In addition to the direct benefits of the green spaces, there are opportunities to maintain them more sustainably. No-mow zones save staffing time, reduce fuel use, and support prairie habitats and pollinators. They are also stormwater management tools. Maintaining the natural topography, including wetlands, can also assist in stormwater management, biodiversity, and community resiliency. And integrated pest management practices can reduce the use of chemicals in your community and are less harmful to natural pollinators. US EPA's EnviroAtlas is a good tool to learn more about environmental benefits of green space and natural systems. It is important to share successes with your constituents and stakeholders. Your successful projects are inspirational to other communities and to those who live in your community and are great examples of what can be achieved. In addition to your local outreach efforts, we encourage you to share your successes and case studies with us through the Encouraging Environmental Excellence program. We welcome opportunities to provide assistance to your community and also to learn more about your community's activities. So here's a quick overview of the services that we provide. The Office of Compliance Assistance and Pollution Prevention can assist your communities with pollution prevention and sustainability assistance for you, your organizations, and your community's businesses. OCAP can also help explain and fill out the paperwork for regulatory and compliance assistance issues. Materials exchanges through the Ohio Material Marketplace is a great tool. And finally, recognition through the Encouraging Environmental Excellence program. Thank you for joining our webinar today.
Thanks, Bill. Now we are going to go ahead and pause here briefly to take a look at some of the questions in the Q&A section that have been chatted into us. We appreciate your questions, so please continue to send those to us, and we will be back here in about a minute to go through a few of those questions. Okay, now we're going to turn it over to Frank Basting, who is also with our sustainability unit in the Office of Compliance Assistance and Pollution Prevention. He's going to go through some of the questions that we've received, and you can continue to send in questions as more come to mind as we're kind of answering these other ones. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Frank.
Thanks, Mike. Good morning, everyone. Looks like we have a handful of questions here. The first one deals with whether our presentation recording will be made available. Yes, we do intend to publish that, the video on our YouTube page, and we will also have a link available, I think, with the YouTube page to the actual presentation itself in a PowerPoint PDF. And we will also have a link on one of our web pages to the PDF. So you'll be able to get it after we're all done here. It might take us a couple days to get that up. Somebody wrote in, could you explain more about the Energy Star? Is that a brand? Energy Star is a program that's administered by US EPA, and it is an evaluation and certification program of energy using devices, mainly appliances, and it goes through a rigorous testing process, and US EPA labels as Energy Star compliant all these appliances and devices that come out in the top few percent of the devices that they test. So when you go looking for say a dishwasher, if you find one that has Energy Star label on it, that means it's been tested and certified to be one of the most efficient, energy efficient within its category. Somebody chatted in, are any example take-back agreements available? If we could get your email address, we will be able to send you some examples. But right now, I mean, one common one that we all might have experienced is if you bought a Dell computer, and Dell used to provide you a label. I haven't done this in a year or two, so that you could take all the packaging that came with your computer and mail it back to Dell, which they either reuse it or recycle it. That's a good example of a take back agreement. If you're talking about having a ongoing purchasing agreement, that would be something you'd negotiate with your supplier. Kristen from Richland County Solid Waste Management District chatted in, can you give me an example of a zero waste landfill event? Where we're seeing these happen are with the hospitality industry. People are now requesting that events that are held are zero waste to landfill, And we also have several like outdoor events, like running events, bicycling events that attempt to be zero waste to landfill. We do have a guidance that Ohio EPA puts out on how to host one of these events. And the concept is that you manage all the wastes that will be generated, first trying to prevent them, and then what is ever generated is properly collected and either recycled or upcycled. Somebody else chatted in, will there be a PDF of the PowerPoint presentation available? Yes, I think I already answered that. And let's see. We received a question about no-mo zones and whether we have any guidelines or sample language for the justification for help communities put something like this in place. I don't have any of those available for me right now, but if we could get your email address, we'll be able to send you a little bit more information on that topic. Someone chatted in, are any fact sheets available for approximating the cost savings with installation of GI? We don't publish one here at Ohio EPA, but we could help you out. We could do a little bit of research and get you some examples. If we could get your email, if you could chat that in. Again, these are anonymous posters, so we don't have any way of contacting you unless you give us your email. Last one is, do we have any specific resources about changing fleets to EV? We do have some resources available. I think they're on our website. This was a big topic a few years ago that we were looking into. Again, if this was an anonymous poster, if you could chat in your email address, we can provide you with some additional resources. Let me see if we've got any new ones come in while I was talking. Okay, if you chat in your email address for me, you have to associate it with your question because it still says anonymous. Somebody asked a question here real quick on the best way to recycle gloves for the cleaning and germ spread reduction during COVID-19. I really don't have any information about that right now. Our current source, the state of Ohio, has information up for responding to COVID-19, and the CDC guidelines are probably your best start. We haven't really started dealing with the recycling of materials that are used during this event. Okay, thank you guys that are all had the anonymous questions. I see your emails coming in. And all right, that's the last of our questions. I appreciate everybody's participation today, and I'll turn it back over to Mike.
Thanks, Frank, and thank you too, Bill, for your presentation. There was a lot of good questions, and we appreciate everybody's time today. I kind of apologize for the audio cutting out early on. It was just a little technical glitch on our end. We took care of it. As you know, Frank mentioned, I said before, we're recording this webinar. We'll be posting the recording along with the PowerPoint presentation on both Ohio EPA's YouTube channel and also on the In Your Communities webpage that I mentioned before we, like right when we got started. It usually takes us about a week or so to kind of get that stuff up there. If you have any questions or if you need something before then, we could get the PowerPoint presentation to you in a PDF probably here, by the end of the day if you needed it quickly. Again, you've got Frank and Bill's contact information. Feel free to give them a call, shoot them an email. Also, if you think of any other questions, feel free to get in touch with Frank and Bill. You've got their contact information right there. If there's any other information, as Bill kind of, pointed out, we do a lot of research, if you will, on specific topics that, people may come across, they want more information on, so feel free to ask us. And with that, thanks for attending, and I hope you all have a great day. Thank you very much.